Hello, everybody, and welcome to the March Leadership Webinar. We've got an exciting lineup. I'll let Melissa go over the schedule here.
We do. We're so fortunate to have Triple Diamond Leland Duyck join us from Texas. And he may have just heard he's made a big drive. He's on the road. He's taking his business everywhere it needs to go. But we are so fortunate, given that he's cross-lined to us, that he is this generous and giving of his time. So we want to thank him and welcome you all for joining us all around the country and all around the world. As usual, we get straight into, let me just see, our assistant's done something fancy here on the slide. So we get straight into recognition. We'll go through special recognition as well, the specialty awards, as well as then transitioning to hearing from Leland. And then we've got a couple of people coming on to talk to us about their takeaways from the events we just had last weekend here in Australia. We'll cover some relevant promotions and incentives, particularly that are still active and live for our market. If you don't know about, for example, the ASEA one we've got right now, you need to know about it. There's only days left for that one. And upcoming events, if for some reason you don't know about the limited ticket sales for some of the major upcoming events where you're saving a lot of money, be sure to stay on the webinar so we can give you the details and what you need to know to plan ahead for those. So we start with our amazing recognition for the last few weeks, actually last month. And our assistant set this up to just loop through. So she's amazing. A shout out for Jenny Rose in the Philippines for doing all of this for us. And as you can see, we are running through Director 300 rank advancements.
Director 300 is a pretty important level because that's everything. You can just create an army of Director 300s. You need 6 Director 300s to take you to Diamond, 7 to Triple Diamond, and you just help duplicate that throughout your business. That will help you to rank advance all the way along. So these are the various weeks moving up. Huge congratulations to all these guys for this last month.
Very much so. This is a great start to the year.
So now we are Director 700s. This is doing 700 points on the left side, 700 points on the right side of your business, obviously still being active as well. And it's exciting to see just how the growth is happening everywhere.
All of these people, and for you that are actually listed, a huge congratulations for being on this webinar and seeing your name up in lights. You all deserve to be celebrated, definitely, and recognised for what you're doing, because it does take focused effort and consistently moving in the direction of your goals to be able to achieve these rank advancements. And for the people on here who are listed in your team that are not actually on the webinar, please let them know. I know we're going through these slides quickly, but we're very, very excited for all of you.
The bronze rank, this is the first executive level rank. So a huge congratulations to the bronze levels. They've got 2 Director 300s in their, 2 Director 300 legs in their business, and they've done 2,000 points on the left, 2,000 points on the right side of their business. And it's definitely a major accomplishment. Definitely got out and built their business. So
once you rank advance into the executive ranks, you're developing fabulous leadership skills. So you're in a position to lead by example and then reach down and help your team come through Director 300, Director 700 as well. Once you go bronze, silver and above, then you know how to do it. You can help your team to be able to achieve their goals.
So now we're on to the silver executives. The silver executives, this is doing 3,000 points on the left and right. You've got an additional Director 300 legs. So you've got 3 Director 300s at this point. You're building and growing your team, certainly moving up into the leadership ranks. And this is a major accomplishment. So well done to all the,
congratulations,
all the new silvers.
Particularly the momentum you're creating at this time of the year when it comes to carrying through to convention as well. Keep up the consistent work moving forward and reset goals if you've set them already this year. And here we are in March and you feel like you've maybe dropped the ball on some of them. Go back, reset them, start anew and move forward. So
we just went
really
through
exciting.
the golds. Golds are 5,000 points on the left and right, and additional Director 300. Now we're into the new platinum executives. This is a big leap from gold to platinum. That's 10,000 points on the left side, 10,000 points on the right side. And the massive congratulations to the new platinums. And Diamond executives. So congratulations. This is huge, guys, for the Diamonds, the new Diamond executives. Now we're into the special achievements.
And ASEA, I believe, is out of Malaysia. So you can see a lot of the names in the team are Asian names, and that's testimony to where ASEA has a presence, also our proximity to Asia. And we're really excited because in particular, Malaysians know how to grow a network marketing business. They're all about business, and we want to welcome all the Asians into our team and from all countries all around the world.
So the now we're into the specialty awards, the top associate enrollers. This would be for the last month.
This is week 4.
And this is specifically for, I believe this is for the Australian.
Just only Australia, yeah. Our virtual office out here will only give us access to the Australian leaders in these categories. So it's exciting though, because when you're listed here, it's important to understand and strive for being able to rank globally, where you will be recognised nationally at the convention in Anaheim. So it's really fun to focus on what is involved in these specialty awards.
Yeah, the emerging leaders, this is real important. This is where you've actually helped the people in your team rank advance. So see Christine Wong's name on there multiple times. You see a lot of the same names, people who are moving and shaking and making things happen. So congratulations to all you guys.
Well done. AutoShip is about building great sustainability in your business through having people have the product delivered monthly to their doorstep. It's a really great way of looking at who has phenomenal retention in their business. So usually see the same names because they're focused on it and they're building a really stable business.
Yeah.
Congratulations to everyone who's been listed so far.
Now, top EMP earners. When you achieve the bronze level for 2 weeks in a row, you open up, you activate the executive momentum pool. This is where you participate in 2% of the global sales based on the amount of your personal group volume, 3 levels in depth. It's a fantastic way to, to dip into the global sales. In fact, the thing I love about this is that really we're compensated as we build our team. We're compensated globally on what happens. So not just on your business, but it gives us the synergy to support everybody. And so pretty fantastic. So actually 1 through 10, all 10 are of the top EMP earners. They're there.
Congratulations to all of you who've been recognized. And we are so honored that you're in our team. We're excited for your future success and know this is going to be an amazing year for all of you. So congratulations again. So let's have a look at Fast Forward, which we really heavily promote throughout our organization. As you may know, some of you may not, but it's 14 days for you to get 4 new enrollments, which include associates, preferred customers, and the accumulation of 1,800 promotion points, promo points. So for last month in February, we have the following people that have been listed as having focused on and achieved this amazing incentive. You can see that in Australian dollars, it ends up being about $610 in cash and products. That's including the loyalty rewards that you get to redeem, the sample tubes, and the Fast Start bonus. So this is a way of being rewarded for engaging in income generating activities at any stage throughout the building of your business. But when you're starting off new associates, this is a brilliant way to help them, along with the director bonus, really gain traction, momentum, and have fun. And it's a really great way to help people earn commissions quickly in their ASEA business, which is really important. Now, Fast Forward Plus is essentially doubling the commitment for Fast Forward, except there's 1,200 promo points and 8 new enrollments. So same time frame. It's for people who really get after it and go and have fun and create lots of momentum. Our virtual office, for some reason, we've been watching this report all week and it is down right now. So we will be recognising February's Fast Forward Plus achievers next month during our webinar. So if you know who you are, congratulations. Our apologies for not being able to feature you today. Let's have a look at who's going to Ascent. This was pulled a couple of days ago. I know that it finished yesterday. So Dubrovnik, Croatia, such a beautiful destination. And we are very excited for Christine, who placed second overall globally, which is absolutely wonderful. No doubt she's taking her husband, and this will be an amazing experience for Christine. And then third place, we've got Manfred and Nancy as well. So congratulations. Very excited for you both. And here are our fourth place achievers. So we have Alan, Fiona, Philip and Julia. They have worked very hard to be able to place here. And then our fifth place achievers as well from all around the country, around the world. So it is not far away now in terms of that trip. And so congratulations to each of you.
It's going to be an absolutely beautiful destination, a great chance for these leaders to connect with the other leadership and the corporate people and build relationships.
And Justin Wilson at our Envision event said that people who achieve Ascent, they increase their income on average 49% as a result of attending this event. So it pays. Definitely. Ascent Asia, we don't have the statistics in our back office for this, unfortunately, but they're going in June to Bali, which will be amazing. And then Diamond Summit, of course, which is in Rome, Italy, 5th to the 9th of May. So the achievers here, we've got Bart and I, Julie and Graham and Mijo for the first level on this slide. Congratulations to all of you. And then we've got Lorene, David, Karen, and Seb and Jeska. Congratulations on achieving the Diamond Summit. It'll be an amazing trip.
Huge congratulations to you guys.
And then we've got Tina, Karen and Wayne and Jessie for second level of achievement, which is absolutely wonderful. So yeah, exciting times ahead. These trips are second to none.
It's pretty cool that ASEA puts these beautiful carrots out there for us to reach for. Great little incentives to help build your business. So we want you there at Diamond Summit with us.
Definitely. And also Diamond Summit for Asia is in Bali as well in June. So a wonderful destination. Okay, we've got the Ambassador Rank Legacy Trip Achievers to Bora Bora in October. So we've got Dan and Suzanne, Malcolm or Mal and Richard Lee as well. So congratulations. They've stepped it up another level to be able to achieve this incentive. It's not easy to achieve, but they've absolutely done it. So we're very excited for all of them. Okay, so now we get to transition and hear from Leland, which we're very, very honoured, as I said earlier, to have on the call. So I'll hand it over to you.
Yes, so Leland, it's great to have you with us. It was we've been trying to get you for a while now.
Chasing you down.
That's right. Last time we talked, I think you said that you're going to be on a hunting trip and it wasn't going to fit into your plans. I know Australia, it's not a big hunting culture, but you got some pretty amazing animals on your property. Sent me some photographs, and so Leland's full of all kinds of great stories. But one thing I was thinking, Leland, it would be love to hear a little bit about your background to kind of start with. Just you've got a pretty impressive background, what you've been involved with, what you've done in terms of business, because you've been very successful in your business background.
Well, first of all, let me say thank you for allowing me to come on to this Zoom and talk to your team. I appreciate that. And it's always a joy for me to talk about these products and this company and what it's doing to change lives around the world. It definitely changed mine. So, my passion to want to share this with others is a daily event for me. So thank you for allowing me to come on and talk Crossline. We are one big family, and we all need to help each other out because it's about reaching out and spreading this great news of this science. So, my background started, I grew up in the Dallas, Texas area and grew up on a farm, basically. I was a dairy, so we were around dairy cattle, so I always worked the farm. But I grew up here, went to college, went to school, and then I got a scholarship off to college up in Kansas on a baseball scholarship, and came back and went through my medical school training in Dallas. My background was in orthopedic surgery for 13 years and did that, but we saw a lot of athletes, professional athletes in Dallas, other colleges, where we worked with a lot of patients that their braces for sports, their knee braces, their back braces and things were not holding up. And I continue to see that. Actually, we see some of our patients get hurt in the brace that they had on. And so I wasn't good with designing, but I got to work with somebody that was, and I put my thoughts to paper and ended up patenting quite a few products, and started a little company on the side. And within a couple of years, I had 150 employees, and we're supplying the NBA and the NFL, ATP tennis. We supply winter and summer games. We supply the U.S. Olympic centers, all 4 of them. And one thing I'm very proud of, we supply all 156 hospitals, veterans hospitals in the country for our warriors, so for our vets. And so my background's either been on the surgical side or the treatment side with bracing. And I've built 2 of those companies strong, 2 10-year stints in Solem. I'm on my 3rd one now. I had another company on the side in orthopedics too that my wife and I built at the same time, and we sold it. So I've built a few companies, and I've really all I've known, Bart, Melissa, just to work hard and take what I knew and did the best I could with it. And I was approached with this business 5 years ago. And when I was approached, I blew it off. I had a good laugh with my friend. Some of you may know him, Terry Latham. He's my sponsor. And I called it snake oil, and we had a good laugh, but I wasn't interested. But Terry continued to drip on me, and let this be a lesson for a lot of us. When somebody says no, they don't always mean no.
Yeah.
Stay with them on a professional level.
How did you know Terry?
Terry was introduced to me through my son, who lives down in the Austin area where Terry did. And I think Terry had talked to my son. My son says, "You need to talk to my dad." And that's where we first met. And then we just built a relationship on the phone talking. And over 2 years, he kept calling on me, and I kept saying no. And finally, I was at my ranch working cattle that day. We probably ran 150 or 200 head through the chutes. And at the end of the day, it'll wear you out because you're physical with the calves, throwing them down, putting tags in theirs, giving shots, all the things that you do on the ranch. So I'm pretty exhausted, but and my ranch is in southern Oklahoma. It's about 90 miles from my home in Dallas, Texas. So I cross over the river and go back into Texas. And I drove home late that night. I went to bed about 11 o'clock. When I got up the next morning, my hands were like this. I hurt in every joint. I couldn't even roll over physically in bed. You want to talk about being scared. I didn't know what happened, but I knew I was fine when I went to bed, or at least thought I was, and I woke up a different person. So went to the hospital, and I was diagnosed 7 weeks later with an autoimmune disorder that really just kind of brought me to my knees. And I got on some very strong anti-inflammatories at 30 milligrams a day, which we used to give our patients 5 or 10 for a short stint and then would take them off. I was on them for 14 months. And if I missed one dose, I was back in bed, very decrepit. I went gluten-free, sugar-free, alcohol-free. I went through colonics. I went through IV treatments. I went everything that Western medicine could throw at me, just wasn't seeing results. Maybe a little bit, but not much. And being an athlete my whole life and being a rancher and been successful with my businesses, I've never really been down. And I found myself in a very unusual area of depression. And growing up on the farm, we didn't complain because my dad would say, just put your big boy pants on and get over it. And, no complaining. And so I did that, but I found myself in a deep hole that I'd never been in before. And about that time, Terry Latham called me back and he said, "Leland, why won't you look at this?" And I said, "Because I didn't study it in my medical school." And he reminded me that I was old and this was new science and I should take a look at it. So I went to PubMed and Google Scholar and started looking at it, and the reviews that I saw were incredible. And it prompted me enough and gave me hope enough that I got on a plane and I flew out to the corporate office. And there I met the founders, the executive team, went through the corporate offices, went through the manufacturing facility. And I knew if I went out there, I'd find a reason not to do it because I manufactured for almost 40 years and I know what to look for. And let me tell you, that place was spotless. I didn't see any red flags. I saw the hearts of our founders, and that meant so much to me because as an entrepreneur myself, I look at things like that. They weren't talking about the money. They were talking about how many lives they were changing. I saw that hope box in his office, Vertus's office, and the letters that were coming in from around the world. And the day I met them, my hands were like this. I couldn't even shake their hands right. And sorry, I get teary-eyed sometimes still telling the story because I was in such a deep hole. I didn't know what to do. I thought I was going to lose my businesses and my ranch and everything I'd worked for. And I told him that day, I said, if this product works for me, I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader. And I've tried to do that. And I worked hard, because when I saw what it did for me after I came home, the first week, 80% of my discomfort had left my body. Second week, my depression had lifted. My wife, Donna, said, you're even fun to be around now. So I guess when you're depressed, you're not fun to be around. But in the third week, my hands opened and closed for the first time in 14 months. That was a joyous day for me. And I knew then I had something good, but I still didn't really understand it, because I'd studied orthopedics, not cellular science. All I knew is I got on the product, and those issues that I was having, they started diminishing. My discomfort levels went away. I was feeling better. On 90 days on the products, I came off of, those anti-inflammatories I talked about. My doctors allowed me to wean myself off of those. You just don't stop those. It can be very bad for you. But I came off medications for high blood and sugar levels and high uric acid levels, and that I'd been on for 8 to 10 years. And, I just continued to wean off. And when I started these Redox products, I just saw a change in my life. My energy level picked up. I wasn't sleeping at night. At my age, at 62 at that time, I would get up and go to the bathroom 2 or 3 times a night, like for a lot of older people. And, now I sleep all night like a baby. It's incredible. I dream again. I hadn't dreamt in years, and very vivid dreams. And, I just couldn't believe that I waited so long to get on it. Matter of fact, this guy right here behind me right there, he waited too long. So this stuff didn't help him. So don't wait 2 years like I did if you're skeptical. I was even more than that. I was more on the cynical role. But when I saw what this did for my body, I couldn't sit still. I had too many people that I knew across the country, locally, that were hurting, and I knew what their problems were. And I just approached them and said, guys, I've got something that's exciting. I can't promise you one thing. Y'all know when I was unhealthy, what I was like. Now I'm healthy. Well, it's because of this product I'm taking, and I think it could help you. And I think you should take a look at it. And I'm going to ask, if you do, that you look at it for at least 90 days, because the company says 15% of the people see results in a week, half of the people see it in a month, but 90% in 90 days. Well, for 14 months, I went through a bad time. And I knew 90 days was nothing. And why would I not try that with that kind of percentile of chance? And it was just amazing. And 9 months, I was on a breathing apparatus too, because I snort at night, and I came off of that. So, I'll be 67 the 18th of this month. I look 8 or 10 years younger than I did when I started this product 3 years ago. I've lost 50 pounds since I first started this product 3 years ago. I feel great. I'm able to do things I haven't done in 10 years. I'm just telling you, this has been life-changing for me. And I tell everybody about it, and I don't, it may come across wrong, but I don't care whether you do the business side or not. I hope you do, because it shows you have a heart and you care for people, because you're going to want to share it. But I care about people's health. I came in on the health side. That's what I promote. But a lot of my people that just start at the lower level, they end up being your leaders. And, I've been training under a gentleman that has made about 35 million now in network marketing. And he taught me something very valuable. When I first came in, I was going hard to try to push everybody to the entrepreneurial levels and everybody to do it on the business level. And bottom line, I found out that we have what we call an 80, 15, and 5 rule in this business. About 80% of the people are going to be your product users. 15%, they're going to share it with family and friends and people they feel comfortable with. And then there's 5%ers that are just going to go out there and go at it aggressively. And, maybe an analogy I could throw at you would be, everybody knows Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? The bodybuilder. Dan Doyle, the bodybuilders, the ones that get serious, right? All right, those are the 5%ers. And then the bottom line, the majority of us, we're the 80%ers. We're the LA Fitness type group. We look good in our clothes, and we go to the gym, and we have a great time. We might go to the juice bar and come over, and we might lean on the cardio machine, but we're not going to get on it. We're just having a good time in the gym. And guess what happens? The manager comes out and sees you doing that and said, hey, Bart, I've noticed you joined a few weeks ago, but you're really not doing anything. You need to step it up a little bit. Well, all of a sudden, you don't feel comfortable there anymore. And that's just what we do to our people. And we need to we need to meet them right where they are and let them be that product user and let them know if they see an experience, they're going to be calling and telling you about it. Follow up with them. Those 80%ers will be your leaders down the road. So I'm learning some really neat things as I'm training here, and it's working very well. And just meet people where they are. We're not here to sell anything. We're here to tell about this great science. And whether people choose to do it, that's their choice. I don't like being pushed, so I don't push people. I just tell them, these are the facts. Do your homework like I did. I hope you don't wait as long as I did, because I went to bed fine one night and woke up a different person. I hope that doesn't happen to you. But if they tell you no, thank them. Thank them for their time and say thank you. But you know what? I'd like to leave the door open, because maybe tomorrow it's you or our family member or our loved one. And I know I have something that can help them. So I want you to call me back if that happens. And it's amazing how many people told me no that are now coming into the business and saying yes. They saw that I was serious about it, that I believed in it. They could hear it in my voice. It's just so important to be excited when you're talking about this, because it's one of the top 5 discoveries in the world today. Yeah. And we need to act like that when we're sharing it with our people. It's like going to a movie or going out to a nice restaurant. If we like it, what do? We share it with family and friends. This is no different. And so I just recommend, if you're new at this business today, the best gift that you can give anybody is to share this business with them. If they say no, that's their choice. At least they won't come back later and say, I had an issue and you never shared this with me. That's important, because that happened to me with a friend of mine. I waited till I got to a certain level in the business because I knew he made a lot of money, and I was getting ready to go to him, and I got the call that he had passed away. And I sat at his funeral with tears flowing down my face, because I had an ego too bad. I wanted to wait till I made too much before I went and talked with him. It could have made a difference in his life. So I don't wait anymore. I don't choose who I think will do it. And I don't judge anymore, because the ones you think will do it won't. The ones you think won't will. Our job is to be the messenger and to share this great news and let people make their own choice.
Yeah, how powerful is that? And kudos to Terry for following up, and staying in contact with his friend, and staying in contact with, obviously staying in contact with you and letting you know, and being a little bit persistent with you. I think part of that message too is sometimes I see people that don't really, we've brought people in before that said, hey, someone told me about the products, but I didn't even know there was a business opportunity. So it's making sure that people know the whole story too, about the business and the product, and then letting people fall in where they feel comfortable. And people it is a process where some people kind of move along. So I know we see that all the time.
I have a quick question for you, Leland. I know in your background and how entrepreneurial you've been, growing up on a dairy farm, you have a work ethic. There's not many childhoods that are as intense as growing up on a dairy farm when it comes to child slave labor sometimes, it seems like. But the question I have is, this is a very different business model. And with your medical background and the path that you've walked, how easy or how challenging was it to wrap your head around this business model, our industry as a profession, network marketing?
That's a great question, because I've always done brick and mortar business. And when I did this, let me back up. I have distributors all over the US and other countries as well with my orthopedic braces. So I would set quotas for them, and they would have to agree to those quotas. And if they didn't meet those quotas, then we would sometimes cut them off and look for a new distributor, because we wanted to grow and we couldn't allow them to take a territory and not produce in that area. And so a lot of times I would go to those people and say, well, I have to put a number on you. I'm curious, what do you think you could do? And almost every time they would set a quota higher than what I would have given them. And I'll say, that's not what I was thinking, but we'll start with that. Okay. But so I was used to giving quotas and taking them away. Well, this business is different. This business, you're the leader and they have to follow. It's kind of like herding kitty cats. It doesn't work. So you really just have to be a great leader, and you have to get out there and share this with them and let them know that you've got something good. So, even Terry told me when I started, this would be difficult for me, because I'd probably have to take my hat and turn it around and think differently. And he was right. And it took me a little while, but I do understand it now. And, what I've learned is no different than in the other business. People don't know how much you care until you show them. And I spend a lot of time when I invite somebody to look at it, or when I'm in a group meeting, I'm the first one there and I'm the last one to leave. I don't leave if there's questions unanswered. That tells them that you're there and you're interested. I'm not there to speak 15 minutes and leave, and if you come in, great. People see that and they see through that. So it's important to show people how much you really care, and it does pay off to spend that quality time with them.
Thank
You know,
you so much.
we send a video out. I think y'all have had one too, the corporate video that went out. And how I use that, there's three things I think people do too much in this business. First, they talk too much. And second, they talk too much. And third, they talk too much. And quit talking and use your tools. I've learned that. And send that video out. Tell people, you know, I'm going to role play it if you don't mind for a second. Bart, I've run into something you've got to see, and I'm fixing to take a run with this, and I really thought of you, thought you'd be great with it, but I want you to take a look at something. It's a video. And he usually says, well, what is it? I'll say, well, I could tell you about it, but I'd rather show you because it's very laid out professional. It's 19 minutes, and now we've got it down to 14. I think a new one's coming out at 14. And just say, I think it could be the best 14 minutes you spent in front of your computer this year. You've got to see it. Your job is to create curiosity. They want to get on that video and look at it. Okay, and then once I do that, I'll say, now if I send it to you, it's 9 in the morning. Can you watch it by 7 o'clock tonight or tomorrow night? Which would be best for you? I always show an urgency, and I get a commitment. I call it BAM FAM, book a meeting from a meeting. And when I've got them right there, I want to book that next one. If they say, yes, I'm going to come on it. Yes, I'll be ready at 7 o'clock. Then I get my upline on the phone with me. He's already on the phone when I call them back. And then I'll say, I don't ask them if they like the video. I'll say, now you see why I'm so excited? And I'll wait for an answer. And they say, yes. I'll say, well, I'm curious. What'd you like? The part about maybe the products or the business side? I'm curious. And I don't say another word because what they're fixing to tell you tells you what they're thinking. And if they say, hey, I'm really interested in the products, I don't think I could do the business right now. Well, that's great. That's a great, let's just take the business side off the table for now, and let's just talk about the products. By the way, I took the liberty of putting my business partner on the phone with me because I knew you would have some questions, and I want to make sure between the two of us we can answer those questions. That was very smooth. It's not like, hold on while I call somebody else. That doesn't work as good. This works very well. And that the ones in my groups that are growing quick are using this technique of using the videos and following up with the leader on the phone. And I encourage you to try it because it's very effective. And especially if you're new, you're going to try to say too much or what we call throw up on them, and you scare them away. Let the tools do the talking for you. And then once they show an interest, you can send them all those things you want to send them and talk to them. And I find that this has been the most productive.
That's good. That's great. Glad to hear that the video was edited down a little bit too. So I'm looking
forward. It's supposed to be released. They sent it out for us to look at just to see our thoughts, but I think it's supposed to be released here sometime in March, hopefully.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Now, one thing that you're quite well known for is you don't do anything small, do you? You hit the ground running when you decided to go with this, and you know, they're the immortal. I'm trying to remember what label Mal Sword. So, oh yeah, he says he refers to us as mere mortals. So when comparing with what you've done, you hit diamond in 14 weeks. In fact, at this last Envision conference we had, one of the presentations that I was given was really creating momentum with your business and doing things quickly. And obviously, network marketing loves speed, and to go diamond in 14 weeks is pretty mind blowing. I'd like you to just share with us kind of what your attitude was and your what you did to kind of make things happen quickly.
My DMO, or my daily mode of operation, was the night before to get a list of everybody I was going to call that day. And sometimes I called 10 or 15, sometimes it was more. But my goal was to make those calls and then to follow up with them. And as soon as somebody committed to it, I showed an urgency for them to go get their first two. It's about duplication. It's not what you know, it's what you can duplicate. And so I really focused on that. But, you know, I really had to set some things aside to do that, Bart. You just can't, you know, I have 3 other companies right now. This is part-time for me. But my goal is to go full-time with ASEA, and I'm phasing those out over a period of time. And so, you know, I just focused very hard. I call it MIA. It's massive immediate action. And if you're not massive action, you're not on the phone, you're not talking to people, you're MIA too, but you're missing in action because nothing's happened. So, you know, it's just important to stay on the phone, designate a certain amount of time every day that is revenue generating activities. Getting on the internet, getting on Facebook, all these things you can justify that you're being busy, but you're not growing your business. And so you really need to be on the phone and make those calls. Get an accountability partner that's going to keep you accountability. No need to story to accountability partner. If you want one, you got to tell the truth and say, all right, I'm going to do this many calls this week. You have to break it up in so many days. I'm going to do this many calls. It's important to set your goals, because I think if you don't set goals, if you don't plan, you plan to fail. You've got to know what you have to do to make that happen. And you don't set a goal and wait a year to see it. You set weekly and monthly goals to make sure you're achieving what you need to get to that bigger goal. You have to check it along the way. And so, you know, for me, it was just massive action. I was on the phone talking to people, signing them up, having them come to my home, or I'd go to them, having them duplicate as quick as possible. And I did promote the entrepreneur levels a lot more at first than I am now. I still promote them, but only if I really feel it's right for them. Initially, I was pushing the business side too and growing fast. The problem back then is we didn't have any of the nutritionals. So at the end of the month, after they ordered their entrepreneur kit, they had to turn around and order more product, and they had a lot of product. And they're like, well, I don't need to order anymore. So it was difficult on renewing the auto ships. Now they do entrepreneurs, and now all they have to do is stay on their nutritionals. Because that gives them where they need to be until they need to order more products. So this really has been helpful to do that. But I just let them know the advantages of coming in at the different levels. It's important that you spend time right there, because if you don't tell them and they come in and find out they get to come in at a bigger level and you didn't tell them, they're upset with you. So I walk them through the 5% on loyalty rewards, to 10 to 15, and how quick you can get to the top. But so you don't feel you're pushing a big order all the time. The main thing is to ask questions of your people. How can you help them if you don't know who they are, what they're going through, and what their needs are? So I ask them, Bart, is it just you going to be on the product? Or is it you and your wife? Or is it you and your family? I ask questions, and if there's more on the product, then I recommend a larger enrollment kit, and I let them know the advantages of that and how many more points toward loyalty rewards they can get and how many free products they're going to get up front. And so I really spent time training right up front from day one with these people. So when I did, they duplicated pretty quick. If you just sign them up and let them go, they don't know where to go or what to do, and then they mess up as they're getting started. It's very important. They could ruin their first 4 or 5 great leads right up front if they're not trained well. So make sure you understand your enrollment kits and what you have in front of you and which one would be best for them. And make the comment, it doesn't matter to me which one you do, but I want to make sure it's the right one for you. So give me a couple of minutes to talk about the options, and then I know you're going to make a wise choice for the one that's right for you and your family. And that's how I present it to them and let them make that choice.
Yeah, no,
so massive action. I got tied into the charge up calls every morning. I heard new testimonies, which helped me realize all the different things this product was good for. I got on our Monday night calls. I got on Thursday night calls with Alan Noble. He does a call that we do, and people could do in-home meetings and sit there and then put Alan on. So we used our upline and tied into all of our tools. Tying into the tools are key. We went to all the events. Terry and I do quarterly regional events together in Dallas. And then we tie into the Envision conference, and then we tie into the national conference. And I just found that you want to see your people grow, get them to those meetings, because it lights them on fire in a way that they never get. And a lot of times they're in these small little towns, and all they think this is just a little company right here in this little town. They don't realize how big it is. And when they come to a conference and they see other people just like themselves coming across the stage and getting accolades for what they've done, and they're making money, and they're like, wow, this is unbelievable. They come home with a different feeling about this company and what they're doing. And at that point, this is the really turning point for a lot of people in this organization, is coming to a key event. It lights them up. And if you as a leader, if you want to grow your business, spend the extra time on the phone to encourage your team to be to all of the meetings and tie in, because tying in, they will be all on board. They're on the team if they're tying into the meetings, and it's just crucial. And if they're not, doesn't mean they can't go there. It's probably just going to take longer, but you want to ignite them, and that's the best way you can do it, is tie them into all of the activities.
Wow. you really can see with what you're describing when it comes to our profession, it is about doing a few simple things and doing it well. Much easier, no doubt, than some of the traditional businesses that you have owned and still do own. But when it comes to the system that you've just outlined verbally here, when it's leveraging the tools, when it's going from like book a meeting from a meeting, when it's having impeccable follow-up, when it's uncovering their needs and addressing exactly where they're at, meeting them where they're at, that's largely based on the duplication and amazing success you're having in your team. So we truly congratulate you, Leland, because
I appreciate that.
yeah, both you and Donna are amazing.
Yeah,
people.
I also like how you talked about doing three-way phone calls and having your upline just on the phone, you know, right there to begin with the follow-up, because you make that transition very easy. You remove the friction point that could very easily be there just by saying, hey, I just took the liberty. I got someone I want you to meet, can answer your questions and that sort of thing. It's perfect.
And when I enroll them, I sit with them and help them download Zoom right there on the spot. And we practice a three-way call if they don't know how, so they know how to do it. They hear about it, but they don't know how, and they're embarrassed to tell you they don't know how. So say, okay, we're going to practice a three-way and I'll call Donna, my wife, and we'll use that as a three. But we practice it, and I want to make sure they know how to do it on their phone. It's amazing how many people act like they know, but they don't have a clue how to do one. So it's important to teach them so they feel comfortable with the next step. So
do you role play scripts with them? Do you role play an authentic, natural way for them to open the door for others?
Sometimes I do if they're struggling with it. I find that most people, they'll take tidbits from all of the meetings and kind of put it into their own words that they feel comfortable with. But yes, there's an overall kind of script or what you kind of say. The ones that are talking too much, that's not good. There's not too much of a script if you're sending the video and getting back on the phone with them. Yeah. And I'm learning the more that you use the tools, the quicker you'll grow your business. And the least complicated, the more elementary you can keep this, the quicker they grow. Because it's not about personalities don't duplicate, guys. They just don't. I mean, you know, you and I, we've been doing this a while. We can talk. We're not afraid to get in front of people, but a lot of people are. That doesn't duplicate. So you've got to start with the tools where they feel comfortable and take step by step. And as they take each step, they kind of raise their hand a little bit when you see they want a little more. And you let them know, I'm looking for leaders. So as you want to do more, let me know. And I try to get them involved in my local meetings, weekly meetings, or we do a monthly training meeting in Dallas where anybody can, anybody can come, cross-line. If you got people in Dallas and you want to send them to Alan Noble Nice training on Saturday, last Saturday of every month, we do it 3 hours. We do a presentation, 20-minute break. If they want to get involved, they can come in, and then we do a training. But I think the key is to get them trained on being comfortable knowing their product, and you can't know your product if you're not taking it. You need to be on the product and be a user of the product so you understand what it does. And you know, to have a product that gets your cells healthy, and then to have nutritional products that allows your cells to absorb nutrition, I truly believe that what we have our hands on is the best opportunity for wellness that I've seen. And when you see Dr. Ann Louise Gettleman, who's First Lady of Nutrition here in the U.S., talking about, she's written 34 books and saying these are the best products she's seen, and she uses them herself. I think that gives us an idea of what we have our hands on. And when I was sick, I doubled up with nutritional products that the Olympic athletes were taking because I call on them. I saw them, but I wasn't getting better. And I couldn't figure that out. And now I've learned that we've heard forever, we are what we eat. We are what we absorb. And if your cells aren't healthy and not absorbing, that's just passing through and you're just wasting your time and money. And so I learned it's very important not only to have your cells healthy, but for your body to be able to absorb nutrition. And the combination of the two, this vehicle can take you anywhere you want to go for health or wealth. And I just love it.
That's great. So Leland, where do you see this going? We've got, it's all pretty brand new. You've been involved in the health industry, medical field as well. Where do you see this going?
Well, I'll tell you where I see it going, but it's not necessarily where I see it going. Look at the stats with our company. Look what we did this last year, 52% growth, finished the year at $171 million. Look at the numbers. That should tell us all where it's going. I have so many physicians getting involved now that will stand in front of you and tell you it's their first product of choice out of their toolbox now because they're seeing results, you know, just in all walks of medicine. It doesn't matter. We're seeing all kinds of physicians come in today. Had a physician come in today in my organization. We trained his staff, got a $6,500 order as soon as we left the training. I'm telling you, doctors are starting to flood to this product. You know, it's one of the top #1 topics on the agenda for a lot of these medical conferences now. And I believe where this is going is this is going to be just like Kleenex in everybody's home. Everybody's going to know about this product. You're just fortunate enough to hear about it early on, but I believe it can be a household name product. And we're seeing results with it. And the best part about it all is it's safe and it's non-toxic and it cannot hurt you. It can only help you. So why would you not try this before you try things that would have side effects to you? And the ones who don't do it, I don't understand, but our job is not to convince. It's to be the messenger, to share the news. And if they say no, move on. There's too many people that were out there just like me looking for something. We have to find out who they are and share. And we walk right by them every day. So don't be afraid to reach out and share with people.
Yeah, maybe, you know, I just sort of opened a question that I'd like to address too, and that's on health professionals. A lot of doctors, even like you in the beginning, were kind of skeptical because you didn't hear about it in medical school. So how would you recommend people, you know, sometimes they're not the easiest ones to get in, but maybe you might have some ideas.
No, they're not. Doctors only know what they know. They were trained what they were trained on. And so if it's new and they hadn't heard of it, I can see their skepticism just like me. But the best thing you can do as a patient is to go to your own doctor. And this is what I encourage all of my team to do. When you go see your family doctor or your specialist, is to say, Doc, what do you know about redox signaling molecules? And don't say another word. They either know about it or they don't. And if they don't, just say, well, you know, I'm taking this product that I believe they're calling it the top 5 sciences in the world today. And I really trust your opinion. I'd like for you to do a little research for me and tell me what your thoughts are. I really would like to know. Tell them where to go and look it up. Educate your doctors, because one of my top leaders today came from being a patient, went to her doctor. Her doctor had told her she had something that was incurable. And she wouldn't live probably to see her kids graduate from high school. And today, she was on that video, Ashley. She came off of 9 or 10 medications, inhalers in a short period of time. Her whole life changed. And that doctor goes, what are you doing? And she says, I'm not on any of this anymore. You told me I was getting better. I could come off of it. He had seen it 10 years before in Vegas when it was first launched, but passed it up. And 10 years later, a patient brings it to him. And he said, I missed it the first time. I'm not going to miss it this time. And now it's his first choice of product. And, you know, I see 2 or 3 a day come through the facility. So, and then they share it with their colleagues and it just continues to grow. And so, you know, they have to be educated. And if they're young, there's a good chance they know about it. If they're 10 years, if they've been in practice 10 years or more, probably hadn't heard about it unless they've been to a conference and they've been updated on their studies. And so educate your docs, you know, just go and ask them if they know about it. If they don't, tell them where to go and look. Take that Redox Life book that's right behind you. Take that with you and go show it to your doc, because that's impressive. And, you know, that guy found, was on the short list for a cure for, for Nobel Prize for mad cow disease and toxic shock syndrome. Very bright guy. Show that. Show what it's doing. Talk to the doctors about the athletics, what it's doing for athletics and the recovery, not just during the event, the recovery aspect of it. And so we have to educate them. And once they get educated, they can be your biggest person out there sharing it, because once they see changes with patients on a daily basis, word of mouth spreads pretty quick. Yeah. And some docs will say, well, if I get everybody healthy, I won't have a practice. What they're seeing is their practices thrive because people hear about it in town and more people come because they're not getting better with theirs. So they come there to hear about this great discovery. So my guys are not afraid to share it, the ones that are using it. And we're continuing to grow every day in the medical community. And it doesn't matter if it's from an athletic trainer or a physical therapist or a rehab specialist or any phase of medicine, we all need this product. All ages need it. And don't wait till something happens to you like me. to do something. Think preventative, because we're taking in toxins every day in our body, from the water we drink to the food we eat to our environment. And 90% of our issues today come from our environment. Only 10% are genetic. So knowing that, we've got to be preventative, and we have to think preventative. And that's where I try to take all of my people and educate them that they need to do this. And when you educate and people understand it, and then they see a result, they'll take off on their own.
I'm sitting here thinking of all the people that haven't joined this webinar this morning that are missing out on your incredible message. It truly is such an honor for us, Leland, for you to give of your time and come on. And I know we are all a big ASEA family, but thank goodness ASEA found you and Terry found you and you found ASEA, because no doubt you don't spend a lot of time at all thinking about what may have happened if you didn't make a decision to take a closer look. And I'm so grateful for you and Donna for what you're doing globally for ASEA, but more importantly for you to have your health back, because as you say, literally there's people on their knees and they're looking and they don't know what a foundational cellular health product is and what it can do. So truly such a great honor for everybody. We will get this recording out soon. Please, please, please share this with your leaders, with your team. You're an inspiration, Leland.
I'd like to close with one thing. If you're sitting there today, you know, I didn't know anything about redox signaling molecules when I was approached. So don't look at my medical background or anything like that. I knew nothing about it. And I've learned every bit of it from my leaders and my tools, the tools that they put out for me to follow. So you don't have to know about it. You don't have to have a medical. Most of my people have no medical background. Matter of fact, the ones that grow quicker have none, because they keep it simple and they duplicate. So don't think, well, you did that because of your medical background. I didn't even know what it was. So we have great tools and we have great leaders. And I can't thank my leaders enough for being there for me all the time and wearing them out on three-way calls and doing the things that I do. But we have a culture at this company that I've not seen in any other business, even in the network marketing industry. And when people realize our culture and our leadership and the integrity of our leadership and the company, teaching strategic link that, you know, Kraft Food and the top 50 companies use, we got something big here. And what's great is we can go out and do what we do, sharing and telling, right? And we put it in the hands of these guys that are very bright running businesses, and they do it well. And the company's debt free. These are things I look for as an entrepreneur. This company's going to be here tomorrow and the next day. And like he said, it wasn't for sale. He said, this will be here for your children's children. That impressed me. And I don't want to build something as an entrepreneur and know it's going to be gone tomorrow, next week, or sold. They're not looking to do that. So to me, it's the best opportunity for business and for health that I've seen in my lifetime. This vehicle can take you, and there's something here for everybody. Whether it's just the product or the business, it's right here. You don't have to look any further.
Well, thank you, Leland. It's great to have you on this morning, this afternoon, wherever you're calling, wherever people are calling in from. But yeah, really appreciate your time and your wisdom. Thank you.
Give that gorgeous wife of yours a hug from us.
I will do that.
Happy birthday for Wednesday week. You do look younger than when we first met you. That's a definite. So, happy birthday. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Great day.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, I'm just going to go back and share the PowerPoint. What an amazing human being and a phenomenal story. I'm so glad you got to see that live and hands-on, because I believe Terry's organisation has Leland in it, obviously, but the fastest growing organisation in ASEA right now, and you know why when it comes to duplication. So
yeah,
thank you again,
the
Leland.
fastest in the US.
In the US, yeah. Okay, perfect. Now, Bart's asked a few amazing people to come on and share some comments with us based on the events. Now, you heard Leland back up the importance of events and what happens. They build belief. So I'll hand it over to you to have a chat with some.
Yeah,
leaders.
so we just had an incredible Envision and Peak Performance conference at the Gold Coast. And I've asked a few people to jump on and just share a few minutes what their takeaways were from the event, what their ahas were, and what they're doing to move their business forward. So, Sean, I'm going to let you go first. Sean, are you there?
Are you at a tennis court or are you home?
Let's have a look at that.
You're at a tennis court.
Oh,
I figured
So
being
you
on.
might see a little fella there in the background, everyone. But yeah, he's certainly had his dose of Redox this morning, I must say.
yeah.
Oh.
So,
He has
so those
to.
of you that don't know Sean, his let's just
Good morning.
take a second, just tell us about your son. He's doing amazing things with
Yeah,
tennis.
little Jet. He's 13 now, and Jet's been playing for a bit over 10 years. Bless him. That's my fault. Never became the tennis player I wanted to be. So Jet got a stab at it, that's for sure. And he's got his heels, deeply embedded into the court. He's number 2 in the state for his age, and he's just stepped up to what they call 14 and unders. But when you've just turned from 12 to 13, you're playing 16-year-olds. So the competition requires, some support, and Redox comes in quite well because kids really do wear out as they're on the court. But he's got some tough coaches. I've actually got a very, very tough coach that's had Jet for about 8 years with me right now. Just say a quick hello, John.
Hey, Dad. Nothing like being put on the spot.
What a great venture.
Yeah, great venture.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, thanks, John. Thank
Well,
you so much.
I know that that's one of your whys. It's really admirable what you guys do to support him in his goals. So that's very cool. One thing I truly admire about you, Sean, is that you're just an absolute team player in everything you do. You're a great worker. You got an incredible work ethic, good people skills.
Amazing karate chop.
Thank
Yeah, that's true.
I wasn't going to talk about that today.
Oh, sorry, I'm thinking.
Yes.
No, but thanks.
Love to
Melissa.
hear what your takeaways were from the big event. What
Yeah.
your ahas were, what you're doing to drive your business forward from what you may have learned.
I think I could say that's a tough one. What are the takeaways? But they're very clear, aren't they? I mean, when you get to the end of that event and you talk about you, Melissa, Mal, all the leaders, can I say thank you to Leland for what he's just brought to the call this morning? Because I think if we practice what he's just brought to the call, we really don't need to do more than that. We keep it simple. And I think when we talk about what he said, quit talking and use the tools. I give myself an uppercut on that because I talk way too much. And I just loved when he would get back to somebody. Leland, I hope you're still listening in, but, for him to say, instead of what piqued your interest, he spoke about, well, now you know why I'm so excited. And it just puts everything into place. Of course you're going to be excited. And if they're not, that's okay. And then he said, just quit talking and move on. So I really love that. And it's always emotional listening to Leland, and I've never really had a chance to chat with him personally, but we will on the trips, and that's what it's all about. We all get together and go to these magnificent events. So on behalf of all the team too, I'd like to thank everyone. And I know I've only got a couple of minutes left, but just thank all the leaders that put so much, work into this, and you guys, it's just relentless what you've put in behind the scenes. We call them silent miles, I'm sure. So very grateful, and we're all very grateful. But Mal speaks about how badly do you want your dream? And for me, it's the scratch in the record. You can reinvent the scratch. He spoke about that, and let's get that in perspective. And what I took away from that is, let's just talk about that. Where does someone want to go? What does the last 7 years look like? I say 7. I was speaking to somebody yesterday, and I said, what have you been doing? It's been nearly 7 years since we've spoken. Now, within 24 hours, he said, not much has changed. And I said, probably the next 7's looking like the last. And it's really a quote from Jim Rohn. But I told him about what we're doing. I probably told him too much. But once he saw the shortened version, we've got a shorter version of the 19 minutes, he was blown away, and he came on board. He's come on board this morning. And we don't have to say much. Yeah, we don't have to say much. These people, they do want something. They've got a dream. And I think if we spoke about product instead of where someone's at, I think it makes a big difference. And, he said, you know, when can we get together, have a meeting and so forth? I said, we've got an event coming up on Tuesday. Would you be able to make that? So Tyler spoke about squeezing the orange. If we just use the resources, and I must say, probably only use, you know, not even half of the resources that are available to myself and to us. And the more I look, the more that's available. Who doesn't want a free trip? Who doesn't want, you know, to have everything set up for them the way it is? I look at this business and say, I kicked off last year. I sat on the fence for 2 years, pretty much like Leland did. And I thought, this ain't working, what I'm actually doing. I'm not going anywhere. And we had a breakthrough with Angela's health. She had some challenges with her eyes that would require needles monthly. That was a big wake-up call for us because she doesn't get any needles anymore. And it's a huge breakthrough. And so I took this on seriously, but don't wait. Don't wait. People say, look, I'll just try the product out for a few months. I want a result first. Well, don't go to a restaurant and be the only one there trying the menu, especially if you're opening a restaurant. You want more than one person trying it out. So get some other people, because you can be inspired by what happens around you. I didn't really have a health challenge whatsoever. So for me, it took, you know, seeing Angela benefit out of this, seeing other people benefit. There's so many thousands of people that are benefiting. You know, tell people, tell everyone.
Thanks, Sean. Really appreciate that. And yeah, thanks for jumping on and joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sean. You are a phenomenal
Melissa.
leader. We're truly excited about the future that you have ahead of you and your leadership skills.
Thank you.
We're very grateful you joined us. So yeah, have
Thank
fun
you.
with your
Thanks for the time.
Of course.
Yeah.
I've written down a whole lot of notes, but I'm gonna let them go. But I think, you know, if we can take something out of Envision, really, it is our daily method of operation, and really get your dreams in perspective, and set some clear goals. You know, don't wing it. Speak to your upline, put some targets in place. It's pretty simple, and you can hit them every day. If it's 2 calls a day, you've got 10 people on your team doing that. Wow, it's very, very powerful. Very powerful. You know, you're talking 100 calls.
So true. So true. And I know it's the elephant in the room from what you said before, but just to let people know that Sean was volunteered by Mal in front of 700 people to come on stage and break the board, and probably 650 would have run out of the room and not wanted to do that. So
I was nearly one of those.
You were very brave, and you really showed everybody what it means to set big goals, look through obstacles, move forward, and conquer your dreams. Like you said, just move.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Look through the obstacle and focus on where you're going. I think it was really important, Bart. You put up a slide there of the target. Have a target. Doesn't matter how small or the vision that you have. It could be just for the week. Put a target in place and do your very best to hit the target. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks very much. Won't take any more time. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Let's see. How about if we move on to Katana? Are you there? Katana, you just muted. You just need to unmute yourself. And I heard that since Envisioned, you've been moving and shaking, talking with people, making things happen. Love to hear what your.
Thanks, mate. Hey, Joe.
Well,
Go for it.
I think what it's allowed me to do is sort of that thing of stepping out of my own way so that I can move forward. I think one of the biggest sort of takeaways I've had from the conference, I mean, there are actually just so many, but probably the biggest would have to be just the magnitude of what this breakthrough actually represents. And for me, it's that sense of, like, I'm probably a bit of an introvert when it comes to approaching people, and even people that I know well, but now I just have this sense of, I guess, like a responsibility. So when I know that there are people who can really benefit from it, I am not holding back so much. So I'm not getting in my own way anymore. I'm just sort of like pushing myself aside and going, this is bigger than me. This is more important than me and my ego and not wanting to share. And so it's really given me that confidence to do that. And when you're in a room of 800 or so people, And you know, the majority of those people have been touched by ASEA, positive impacts in their life and their health. And you know what that does, not just to an individual, but to a family. And then, you know, like the ripple on of what that actually means. It's really compelling. You know, most of the people in there have been touched one way or another. And for someone who is, okay, I'm not brand new into the ASEA world, but in terms of, I've had to overcome a lot of, I guess, personal limitations to get to the point where I can actually talk to people. But when you're in a room in that situation and you see the impact it's having, yes, it's very confirming that that we're on the right path here. Yeah, so that's probably my biggest takeaway, but I'll share with you a few of the other really great takeaways for me as well. Just some amazing golden nuggets from the speakers, like some of the scripting that we had from Justin and Christina, I found really, really helpful. And I've taken some photographs and I've kind of been, I mean, I'm not one to like read a script and, you know, just take that, but, you know, but just having a few ways of just phrasing, and even what Leland was saying, you know, what Sean also said, oh, now, can you see now why I'm so excited? Having a few things like that, just, you know, tucked away, are really useful to draw on when you're talking to people. So those kind of things from, I found the talk from, I hope I've got his name right, Dr. Wayne Pickering. Pickstone, sorry. I found learning a bit more in depth about the science behind it was really, really helpful. And some of the diagrams that he had up on the screen was really, really helpful. And learning about, I knew about about some of the Nobel Prizes, but I hadn't been updated with Nobel Prizes being awarded in cellular communication from 2011, 12, 13, 14, 16 and 17. Like I didn't realize that. So that was really valuable for me as well. And another really big thing for me was just the sense of being part of a team, whether it be part of your immediate team, but then the greater team, the uplines, the downlines, cross lines, you know, and that we really don't need to, if we do want to build a business and share with people, we don't actually have to know everything ourselves immediately. If you've had your own experience, which I have with my family, that's actually all you really need to talk to people about, because you're supported in this business, which I just love. I love the sense of being with the team. I've always loved working collaboratively, and that's what this provides as well. So, you know, having people who are more experienced that you know you can rely on to help you fill in the gaps that you might not know if you want to talk to somebody. Yeah, they're all really important things. They're my big takeaways.
That's great. It sounds like you've really raised your level of confidence and certainty and commitment. So it was just kind of the overall belief system that I'm getting from you that you've really raised, and now you're bulletproof and you can go talk with anybody.
I really feel just like, almost like I'm, you know, like, the other big thing was the ethos training. So I went to the conference last year, but I didn't get to come to the Friday ethos training. And I got so much from that. I mean, listening to Tyler speak, he's just such a compelling, inspirational speaker. And hearing him talk, I mean, hearing like a leader of a company talking about, you know, keeping your principles above your ego and your economics, and talking about making sure that you are aware of what your motives are when you're talking to somebody. So, you know, you're really having that person's best interest when you're speaking with someone. I mean, for me, that's brilliant. I love that. Yeah. And so for me, I feel like I'm really, I just feel like I'm being pulled in this direction, that I'm just following the cues and I'm just moving forward with it. So yeah, that's quite exciting.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for jumping on and joining us on the call this morning.
Thanks for
love hearing
inviting me.
her. Yeah, absolutely. And hey, I thought we'd go to Dan. Are you there with us? Love to have you jump on and just share a few of your thoughts if you can.
G'day, how you doing?
Yeah, fantastic, mate. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. Still trying to get past what we've heard today already. How good was Leland?
Leland's absolutely phenomenal. The guy is just amazing. The people that this company attracts, you know, with the culture and the values, just such great friends that we've made. And Leland and his wife Donna are such amazing people.
Yeah, and collaborating with us on this call and giving his time. He's an absolute asset to the ASEA family. I mean, it's fantastic to have him on board.
Definitely.
I think this is one of the best calls we've ever had. This is this is fantastic. But I also feel that the Peak Performance and Vision Conference was probably by far the best event we've ever had in Australia as well.
That says a lot from you because you've been to all of them.
Well, my big takeaway is that the speakers and the presentations were just totally above average. They were absolutely awesome. Everybody would have got a lot out of every single presentation they heard of every single speaker. I know we've got a call on early week to discuss next year and how we can improve it. I have no idea how you guys are going to improve it. I mean, you guys and the leaders did such a great job. This is my takeaway. This is going to help me to improve my own events and presentations that I'm doing. It was just such a fantastic event, and it's, as you said, Melissa, it's just a shame that, you know, there's a lot of people not on this call that should be on this call, but there was a lot of people at that event that should have been at the event as well.
Yeah, that's true. Well, there's so much time that goes into to organizing these events and the speakers that prepare and everything. Everybody should have gotten a survey. Make sure that you fill that out. So give us the feedback so we can always work on improving these.
I put a survey together through SurveyMonkey, all in and Peak Performance. This is for Peak Performance on the Sunday. ASEA Corporate sent out their Saturday survey. It is anonymous, so feel free to say whatever it is you need to say. If you don't like someone, put it in there because it's the only way that we can actually improve the event. So yeah, so make sure you do that. If you didn't have your email,
yeah, there's also one going around with the Renew 28.
There is too. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, sorry, I'll just.
No.
Over to you.
No, you're great, Dan. You're great. One thing I was going to say to you too, based on what you just said, when you invest in your business by going to these events actually pay. They pay, because how Katana has gone away with their clear conviction and deeper belief system, you can't get that outside of big events. Would that be fair to say, Dan?
Yeah, and you know, while we're at it, just make sure everybody should have their tickets for next year already. I mean, that's a no-brainer. I mean, to miss the biggest event in our region, absolute travesty. And then you've got, you know, these calls, and you put a lot of time and effort in every single month. I can't imagine how much time and effort you put in, but you know what you show here, what you provide, and what you give to us. It's just amazing. So everybody should be putting this in their daily planner, calendar, diary, every single month too, to get onto these calls. I mean, I've got people waking up late and texting me and they're saying, oh, can we do a call now? You know, I want to talk to you about a strategy. And I said, why aren't you on the call? Why aren't you on the team training call? I'll go, and then I respond with, hey, you watch the recording before we have a conversation. So yeah, everybody should be on these calls. I mean, we do the best we can to promote these calls and these events. And I believe just some people are taking us for granted. And it's, I'm a little bit more black and white and straightforward these days. And I'm so appreciative and proud of these guys being on this call because they've made the effort to be on there. But just for everybody, it's up to you to get this to your teams as well, just to make sure that they know when these are on and to make sure they attend. So you'll find out who's serious about building an ASEA business once you start getting the information to them and finding out who's attending and who's not attending.
Well, I know, Dan, that's great. That's great advice. And I know you personally, probably out of anyone in our team, you network with Crossline, and you add so much value to the ASEA family, Crossline, and probably anyone else we have in our team. So you're in the trenches, you know what everybody else is doing, and you absolutely know the value of what other people can offer us as well. So thank you for doing that, because I know that you get requests from all around the world to come and speak at Crossline events, and I know that you do that because of your commitment and conviction and compassion for ASEA and helping everybody. So
yeah, it's the only way we're going to move together and get this turnover that we want Virtus to see, the $1 billion. So we can't do it as individual teams or individuals. We have to work together.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it's if you can stay on, maybe we'll have you talk about some of the upcoming events and tickets and stuff at the end. I know you got all kinds of things happening here as well, but
I've been to 16 days.
amazing.
Feel good though, feel good.
So it's so great to see you, Dan. I'm not 100% sure where you are right now. I don't know if you're in Sydney or, I know you're
Los Angeles at the moment.
Oh, you are. I was going to say, because wherever you are, your whiteboard seems to follow you. So
yeah, I'll push that aside at the moment. Yeah.
In the background, but thanks for your words of wisdom. And just something really quick, I think, for people who may not know you that well, and I'm sure everybody really does on this call because they're consistently on the call. What's your vision for where ASEA is going?
Let's go straight to the big one. I believe that we can overtake Amway in sales. I really do. It's $8.8 billion. They've had #1 forever, but I believe with our technology, I think we can give it a good crack and we can bypass them in sales. I really do.
I agree, and knowing that people have just heard you say that, they can now understand why your business is as big as it is, because your vision is huge, and I agree with you completely. So thank you for sharing that with us, Dan. Thanks for being on the line. It's always such a treat. You're consistently always on, but I know sometimes you've got big fish to fry in other parts of the world. So thank you for your time.
Bit difficult when I'm on the plane or traveling, but yeah, do my best. It's great to be here and see you guys. Thanks for everything.
Thanks, Dan.
Okay.
Get it. Let's see, maybe we can hear from Donna next. Donna Lee, are you there with us?
Hi.
Okay.
Hi, Bob. How are you? Hi, Melissa.
Hi,
Yeah,
Donna. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
oh, that's okay. My apologies. My webcam isn't working, so I have to apologise for that. I've only just come across that this morning.
Oh,
no problem. We've got a good picture of you there anyway. So
yeah, that's okay.
So we're running a little behind, but we'd love to hear your takeaways and what you're doing to move from Envision and Peak Performance, and what you've taken away from those things that you're implementing in your business to move your business forward. So yeah, I heard really good things. Julie said that you're just out talking with new people that maybe had maybe hadn't talked with before. Might have been some people on your chicken list. I'm not sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Envision was the first large ASEA big event that I've been to. So for me, it was quite a memorable occasion, and also quite an emotional one for me, having been on my own health transformation. But yeah, I think firstly for me, the most touching thing was listening to Tyler Norton talk about his dad and the decision he made not to give it in the hands of the pharmaceutical company. That was probably, like I said, the most emotional part of it for me was realising that he made that decision for people like me who weren't well yet, but knowing in the future that he was going to help people like myself and my team. He gave that opportunity to me, and I was just so grateful for that. That was my first, my first tear-jerking moment in the whole process. But I think I was listening to a lot of the speakers, and there were some absolutely incredible things that you could take away from that whole event. Just being around like-minded people was certainly very, very uplifting, knowing that you're in a team that actually do love you and want you to succeed. I think that's very different from a lot of what of us have experienced out there in the real world, in other workplaces and that sort of thing. So that was really, really great to feel that energy. That was just amazing.
That's fantastic. Now, what level are you right now? What pin level are you in with ASEA?
I'm only at a director 300.
No, you're not.
Or maybe I'm. Well,
You're a diamond, but right now you're.
yes, that's right. Exactly.
And that was one of the things that I wanted to do, is to take the perspective from people at different levels as they're coming in. Like you said, you were brand new. This was your first main event. And so, that was one of the reasons I wanted to invite you on too, is from someone who's fairly new or, getting started with their business, and your perspective. And so hearing that story, particularly firsthand from Tyler, is pretty impressive, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've heard it from other people, but hearing it from him was like hearing it from Virtus for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think my biggest takeaway was from, I can't remember his name, but the coach that came on, I think it was on the Saturday, and he said that it was okay to miss. And that's something that I've really struggled with, is the rejection of people saying no, and not wanting to feel like a failure when it doesn't work and that sort of thing. So that really put it into perspective for me, and realised that you're going to have a lot of misses, and that's okay. It's normal, and it's expected, and we've got to be okay with that, and be okay with feeling awkward and clumsy at the beginning, because even people like yourself would have when you first started, and realised that it's not always going to feel like that. It's just, I'm just in that, beginning phase. So the only way that I'm going to feel less clumsy is to actually just keep doing it, keep repeating, and keep learning and growing as I do that. So yeah, that was my biggest takeaway. And again, like what the others are saying, keep it simple. I think I've been very good at overcomplicating things and trying too hard.
Are you there, Donna?
Yeah, sorry, I just noticed I didn't hear you. Are you still hearing me?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good. So yeah, not overcomplicating and making things too difficult and trying too hard. I think we've got to keep it simple so it is duplicatable for the others coming up behind us. And the other major thing was that if they can do it, I can do it. Because there were so many people up on stage who didn't have any background in sales or business or a lot of things, technology, and yet they've proven that they've done it just by perseverance and believing in themselves and believing in what they're a part of. And I think that's what we've got to constantly come back to focus on, to do that.
Yeah, no, that's really good. And I like how you talked about facing your fears. Mel, kind of in the closing comments, talked about the, which wolf are we feeding? And basically don't succumb to the fears. Just talk with people. All the time, all the people that we talk with, you never look down, and we're never bloody. No
one loses an arm or a leg. So that's
right. That's right. But it sounds like you've got some great things happening, and we really appreciate you jumping on and joining us and sharing with us this morning.
Thank you, Donna.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Pleasure.
And let's see, we've got one more couple that I would love to hear from, and that's Peter and Marina. Are you there?
I think that they've just dropped off accidentally.
Oh, did they drop off?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
So we'll have to come back to them.
Okay.
So we'll just wait for them to jump back on, Peter and Marina.
Oh, Peter
he raised his hand. Here we go. Let me
just take a look here.
There you go.
Promote panelist.
Thanks for doing that, Peter.
There he is.
The floor's yours, Peter. So.
Oh.
And Marina, there you are.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Yeah, we just jumped from one webinar with our German team now to your team, so we're busy.
Great timing.
These guys are doing incredible things. Talking about German team, we're just seeing enrollments coming in, lots of incredible things happening. And I know after the event, Marina, you came up to me and you said that you really had some major ahas. You had some mind shifts that took place, and you guys are incredible. I'd love to hear your takeaways.
Oh, thank you. So we are very happy that we joined. It was a game changer for my mindset, I must say. And from the results, we just hit bronze in the morning.
Whoa!
So it's not only in my mindset, maybe a major shift, but maybe also in our team. So we have one new director 300 and one new director 700 just in this 1 week. So we have the feeling that also our team benefited from it. So yeah.
Definitely.
Fantastic.
You two have such commitment to your team and helping others. So yeah, go for it, Peter.
Yeah, that's what we learned. We started in, I think, last November, end of November, and
no, December.
Or December. I was ex-German, so now I'm Aussie. We just read everything, were on every webinar, read every book and every YouTube video from Dan, from Mel, from everybody. And we met you also through Daya. And so I had and but as I saw in this envision that everybody has his own story, and then I got the clue that all my knowledge dropped down to my heart. So I had problems with finding the right words, how to approach the people, how I deal with rejections. But when I visited the Envision, I saw it live, and this was just for me a door opener. So I'm now not running, I'm just flying. I just want to, and I am not afraid about these rejections anymore, or I just find my way, and I just use the tools. And like Leland said, it makes click, and you have to go to these big events, because this was like a puzzle becoming a picture. For me, it was just, now I see clear, and now I just can fly. Sorry, I'm talking too much. Just use the words.
You're not talking too much at all. It's really important what you've shared, because those events, I mean, imagine where your business would be if you didn't attend, if you didn't go. So you've fast-tracked your success, definitely. And would you say that the belief that you really built at that event was deepened a lot?
Yes, absolute. I don't waste energy into doubting, or I am much more joyful. So I have another level of confidence, and I therefore approach much more open and with more joy people. Maybe this changed also the attraction. This is just a try to explain what is happening, but I enjoy it. I just enjoy it. I know that I give something good, and no doubts. I didn't waste my energy in that. I don't just something which could help you, and it's up to them. And I don't feel that I have to convince. That I have to convince. And I really love the sentence from Tyler, I want you to miss, because it was not in my vocabulary. It was always about, okay, I have to do this. And I was a high achiever in my life, always. And now I'm so happy to have my training and to miss. But in the end, I miss much less. So it's very nice. Thank you.
You guys are fantastic. I really appreciate the insight and really your heart. You know, the one thing you mentioned that you're an Aussie now, but moving from stay a German. That's perfectly fine. With my experience with Germans, I love it, because you guys, the German culture, I find that people do what they say they're going to do, and when you make a commitment, when you make a decision, it's just I just know that you're absolutely going to go places. I think that that's a quality and attribute that is extremely admirable. And you guys are truly, we're so excited to have you on board with us, excited to be working with you. I absolutely see that you're going to be moving up to the diamond ranks in no time at all. Just got the right energy, and you've taken some great things away from the event. So thanks for sharing with us this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you for this team.
Yes, and
for the leaders, for our upline. Without that.
Yeah, it's a big family. We like it. So that's why also our downline is just tops.
Well, I know you know how to put Daya to work. So well done. She's loving it. She's loving it. So yeah, congratulations to all of you, and thanks again for joining us during the webinar. We're going to go over some promotions and upcoming events now. So I don't know if you've already got your tickets for next year's events, but we'll cover that and then wrap things up. So yeah, excited for the future for both of you, and thanks again for sharing. So I'll just go back to the webinar now, and as I said, stay on the line as much as you can, because we're going to run through some really important announcements. If you have not taken advantage of this for Australia and New Zealand only, do so before the 10th of March. It's running out in just a few days. So make sure that you can really leverage this promotion use it for incentives, use it for rank advancing, but get the message out to your team and order this through your virtual office. Just log on to your virtual office.
I think the extra product on that actually shows up in your cart at the end.
Discount is applied at checkout. So
yep.
Step 4. So if you're not seeing the discount, just continue through the process. And because ASEA is not for resale here in Australia, it means that please don't put this on social media or any other public forum. And the promotion doesn't apply for auto ship. So you can't add extra, the buy two promotion to your auto ship, it won't work. So in terms of upcoming events, the redoxdiamonds.com is a great place to go to see past recordings as well. The password is associate when you click on the member section. The website has not been functioning properly lately. So that's why we suggest all tickets for Australia, I'll go through in a minute, to get from aseaevents.eventbrite.com.au. So all the recordings and everything is here. There is a Facebook group put together by a couple of ladies in our team where the events are all listed. And if you wanted to find out global events, you can access a calendar, ASEA put together in your virtual office. You go menu and resources and it'll say ASEA VO calendar there. So that's the way of staying in touch, knowing what's happening, particularly around Australia and New Zealand. Today in Sydney, we have Mal and Julie who have gone down there for this afternoon training. It's not too late to show up. You've still got time. If you've got anybody in Sydney, get them there. These two do an amazing presentation training. You know who they are. They're phenomenal leaders, and Sydney is so fortunate to have them down there today.
Julie's going to do a recap of a lot of some of the slides that Tyler Norton went through. So yeah. That, as well as some great training that you won't want to miss.
Definitely not. And so Leland Duyck, his upline is Terry Latham, and Terry is an amazing gentleman. Obviously duplication and systems is his thing. So if you know anyone in Austin, Texas, near where he lives, he will be doing a phenomenal presentation there. So just take down on 1 second. For some reason, we've been woken up through the night by our fire alarms going off. So I'm glad that was an easy fix. Okay, so moving on, Ed and Rebecca, our sponsors, they do a weekly team call. It's Monday, 12:30 Brisbane time. There's the Zoom link. Take a screenshot if you can. It's more of an informal call as opposed to this one, but it's very effective, a great way to stay connected and find out what's happening in the North American market. Ed's in the Philippines right now. The amazing Christina Williams is hosting the training on Monday night, advancinglifeintro.com. Christina was probably one of the, if not the favourite from everyone from the surveys that I've read so far, and keep in mind they are anonymous. Christina is an amazing leader and trainer, so jump online with your guests on Monday night. Nicole Dennis, Ambassador Diamond, she is hosting this week's Expert in the House webinar, which happens every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Queensland time. So bring your people on to listen to Nicole's amazing story and her business success. So Steve, March 13th, Steve Copping will be at Burleigh Head Surf Lifesaving Club. So be sure to send people to that event. This event happens regularly, but we've got Steve that's featuring, so it will be phenomenal. And the North America Envision Conference, for anyone you know in North America, get them there, encourage them to get there. It's the 26th of March, and it is very similar to what we experienced here on the weekend from ASEA. And there'll be field leadership speaking, one of whom will be Rebecca Weems as well. So we're very excited for her. Tickets are ASEAevents.com. All ASEA run events, tickets are at ASEAevents.com. So let's go to April. Our next leadership webinar is the 4th of April on Saturday. So schedule that, take a screenshot, schedule these webinars for the rest of the year. We like to invite quality speakers on that we can learn from, and I'm sure as Danson and as you would agree, we are so fortunate to have had Leland share with us today. So this is Saturday 18th in North Carolina. Anyone around there? There's an event happening, so you can find out more through your ASEA virtual office as well. June, we've got a tour happening, a diamond tour happening in June, so schedule these dates, and you live near one of these cities or know people near these cities, we'll be announcing more details of speakers, etc., as we get closer to the date. Now, of course, convention. Everybody is talking about being there. People we know in our team who haven't been able to invest in going to convention before they've booked their tickets, they're going. It's in September. The great thing is, because of the Envision event, now the not so great thing is if you weren't at the Envision event, this ticket discount price won't be relevant to you because it's discounted for people that went to Envision. It ends on March 7th, so that is tonight at midnight. So be sure to get you're saving 140 Australian dollars, and all tickets, you can log into your ASEA virtual office, you go to your shopping cart, order your event ticket that way, or you can do it through ASEAconvention.com, which will default to your ASEA virtual office. So save that $140, it's worth it, and a reward for Envision attendees. November, Trish Schwenkler, ASEA's top ranked and highest paid associate, will be touring Australia. We're really excited for her to come out. This will be one of the biggest events of the year, and she's touring all these cities, so stay tuned for more details as we get closer to that event. And Envision next year, tickets are on sale already. Make sure you get your tickets it's for 2 weeks only from Envision, so this ticket discount will expire March 14th. Yet again, it's logging into your virtual office and going to tickets. So you're saving 112 Australian dollars. All American events are in Australian dollars now, not US dollars, because we can order through our virtual office shopping cart. So it's made it a lot easier. If you're on the line from other countries, you can access these tickets. It will show in, for example, New Zealand dollars when you go through to checkout. And it's the 26th to the 27th of February next year. Peak performance training is the 28th of February. It's the Diamond Run event, and the tickets are until the 14th Brisbane time, 14th of March. They're only $47. So book ahead and get blocks of tickets for people. Just know that the heavily discounted tickets won't be refunded. There's a lot of admin that goes with doing that, so it's still worth it, and there's so much time for you to plan ahead, so take advantage of that. And here's a summary, if you want it all in the one screenshot, in terms of the discounts and where you can go to book these tickets. Again, peak performance is aseaevents.eventbrite.com.au, so make sure you maximise your savings. We've already bought blocks of tickets ourselves to these events. Yet again, just a summary to make it easy. Usually it's redoxdiamonds.com, but aseaevents.eventbrite.com.au. Okay, the tools. So Terry Latham and Leland Duyck are really big on tools. We've had to redo a little bit of work here. We would have loved to have launched them by now, based on compliance having a look at what we can and can't do in the marketing team. So stay tuned. We are excited about the future of what our business is going to look like through utilising these tools, and I'll be explaining more when they're fully completed, so it will only be a few weeks away now, and then we'll do a proper launch and have the videos to go through it so you can easily learn how to share ASEA and grow your business systematically according to the CIRCLE acronym, which is connect, invite, resources, close, launch, and empower your team. So many of you may not know the redoxshop.com. We can get phenomenal resources on that site shipped from Melbourne. We stocked up heavily about a month ago, so these are a phenomenal resource. And our newsletter, to subscribe to our newsletter, there's the subscription link there. I'm only sending it out once a month now. Christina Williams does such an amazing job on her newsletter that this is used pretty much to remind people of events and promote some of the big events. So you can subscribe there are links in the newsletter for you to subscribe. David, stay on the line. David's going to, Richard, actually, it just changed late last night.
Yeah.
Richard's going to be doing a translation in Mandarin after this webinar. So for your Asian associates, he will run through these slides and promote these events.
And Dan, if you're still there, if you want to wrap up with any closing thoughts. You still with us?
No, there he is. He's in the background.
Okay, he
So,
might be in the middle of something. So
thank you again to Leland for all his time today. As Dan said, probably the best call, if not one of the best calls we've ever had. So we'll get that recording out as soon as we can. We also send it out through the newsletter. We'll see you on the 4th of April as well. And I just remembered on the 4th of April is Sean Grech is coming up here for an event, so we can keep you posted on that. And let's see.
And thanks for the other speakers, Peter and Marina, Donna, Katana, and Sean. Really appreciate you jumping on. And Dan, appreciate your input today as well. Let's go out and make it a great month, a great year.
Very excited to have caught up with many of you at last weekend's events, and we're relieved they're behind us, but we're planning already for the next one. So it'll be even better. Remember to fill in your survey. It's anonymous. It's in email format. Please, please, please say anything you want so we can learn and grow.
Yeah.
Thanks again, everyone. Have a fabulous rest of your weekend, and we'll catch up with you soon.
So we'll just change the controls over now.
Okay.
Make David the host.
Perfect. Just do that.
Stop the recording.